Hello, you wonderful people. Welcome to Game Over Gerkinman. Whoa, geez, my headphones are turned up really loud. Welcome to the return of Game Over Gerkinman. Very, very excited to come back. So I'm going to sit on the title screen for a minute, and I'll tell you some things first. So Tatl Tael Gaming is done. There's a specific reason for that. Me and Jessica have parted ways. And as such, I didn't think it was appropriate to continue using the Tatl Tael Gaming channel, which was something that we both set up together originally. So that's why I'm back here on the Game Over Gerkinman channel. And I'm also hoping to address some of the problems that people had with later. Oh, geez, if I could speak today. It's been a while since I've been in front of the mic. Some of the issues people had with the way Tatl Tael was going, where I was very tired sounding. I didn't sound like I was into whatever I was playing, and I don't know, video lengths were all over the place and that sort of thing. So those are all things I'm going to be addressing, hopefully, here on the Game Over Gerkinman channel. And I can sound a little bit more excited now as well, because all that immigration stuff is finished and out of the way, and I don't have to worry about it for a year. So, actually, I'm just getting in through all this stuff, because if I... Yeah, that's what I just did, isn't it? You must select PSN sign in. I thought I did. Wait, what? Why can't I get into online mode? Oh, anyway. So I'm gonna have some bullet points coming up when the time is right during this video, explaining what exactly I'm planning on doing with the channel. So, yeah. But I'm going to just make a character here. I'm not going to worry about showing you guys that part, because that's not very exciting. So I'll be back in a jiffy. Alright, that's good. I just hit the random button until something that wasn't completely hideous came up, because that's usually what happens with this game for some reason. Now, the class I am going to show... last time I played... Demon Souls. Why am I back to this? This was one of the failed Let's Plays from Tatl Tael Gaming. Originally, it was me and Paul playing through this, and we didn't get that far into it. It took like 5 episodes or 6 episodes to get to the point we did, and we just sucked at it. But since then, I finished the game twice. I finished Dark Souls twice. I finished Dark Souls 2 once so far, and went in to get hold of Skull of the First Sin to do that. I haven't played Dark Souls 3 yet, because I haven't got a copy of it yet, but I will eventually get around to that. But actually, I only just finished beating this game again last week, and I really feel like I'm at a position now where I'm like, yeah, you know what, I should probably revisit this game and show you guys it properly. I'm going to do things that I didn't do last time with Paul, which is read item descriptions and things. I'm just a much better player of it overall, and action RPGs are kind of like my favorite genre at the moment, so that's the other reason I wanted to get back to it. And like I said on Tatl Tael, I want to play through all the Souls games, so I'm going to be heavily editing it this time, so I won't be watching me play the same bits over and over and over again, and that comes into what I'll be talking about once I get to my bullet points. But picking a class, so last time I played through as a barbarian, which basically meant I had no armor and stuff. It was pretty difficult in the early game, but it got easier as I went. But I don't like playing as the same thing multiple times, and I've got a specific weapon that I want to use, and it's not until a little bit later in the game that you can access it, but it's a strength-based weapon. So who has the highest strength? I'm going to assume it's the knight, who is what I played as the original time through. If it's your first time playing the game, I do recommend the knight. Yeah... Also, the priest strength is surprisingly not too bad either. That mace looks kind of cool. I haven't played as a priest. What's the endurance like? That's the other thing, because I like playing as pretty quick characters. Magic is 8. It's a level 6. I'm tied between either the priest or the knight. I haven't played a priest before. Like I said, it only really affects the early game. Also, this is a new thing. RPGs where I get the credit character, I generally like to play as a girl because I'm weird like that. I mean, I'm a dude in real life, so if I'm going to roleplay, I'm going to roleplay as a female. And so, when I can't play as Gerkinman in a game, I will play as She-Pickle, which is the green-haired Gerkinman alternative. So, yeah, we'll go with the priest. Let's see how we go here. I think there's going to be a cutscene, and then we're going to do the tutorial, which last time we skipped over, and there's a very specific reason for that, which I'll get to when we get to it.
King Aland XII, by channeling the power of souls, brought unprecedented prosperity to his northern kingdom of Boletaria. That is, until the colorless deep fog swept across the land. Boletaria was cut off from the outside world, and those who dared penetrate the deep fog never returned. But Valarfax of the royal Twin Fangs broke free from the fog and told the world of Boletaria's plight. That the old King Alant had aroused the Old One, the great beast below the Nexus, from its eternal slumber, and that a colorless fog had swept in, unleashing terrible demons. The demons hunt down men and claim their souls. Those who lose their souls also lose their minds. The mad attack the sane, and chaos reigns. Valarfax spoke of the enticing power of the demon souls. Each time a demon claims a human soul, the demon's own soul is invigorated by the life force, and the power of a mature demon soul is beyond human imagination. The legend spread quickly. Mighty warriors were drawn to the accursed land, but none have returned. Bjor of the Twin Fangs, Yurt the Silent Chief, Sage Urbane, Skurver the Wanderer, the Sixth Saint Astraea and her knight Garl Vinland, and Sage Frake the Visionary. The colorless deep fog slowly creeps beyond Boletaria's borders. Humankind faces a slow and steady extinction. The deep fog will eventually swallow all lands near and far. But Boletaria has one final hope. A lone warrior who has braved the baneful fog. Has the land found its savior? Or have the demons found a new slave?
Brave soul who fears not death. I shall guide you. So that you may lull the Old One back to slumber.
Alright, welcome to Demon Souls. Okay, so... Alright, before I get into this episode's going to be a little bit longer than usual, just because I've got some things I want to go over before I start. Ahem. But, okay, so first of all, bullet points. What I am fixing from Tatl Tael Gaming. Number one, I want to sound more energetic and more alive, and I think now that I'm done worrying about immigration stuff, at least for the next 2 years, I think that's going to be perfectly okay. Towards the end of Tatl Tael Gaming, I was very stressed with life between working ridiculous hours, and I was also, dealing with all the stuff with immigration. I was tired a lot of the time, and I think that's why I started to sound disinterested, because with Nier, even though I still love Nier, although I didn't quite love it as much the second time around as I did the first time, it's very much a one-and-done game, I think. I did start to sound tired. A lot of that was because I was legitimately actually tired. I've got a heal spell. Interesting. Okay. I've never actually dealt with magic before. Sorry, I'm just that's kind of neat. So that was a thing. Second of all, these videos will be in 1080p. I will never be doing 60 frames because my capture card doesn't support it. But 720p, I like to watch videos in full screen mode while I'm at work. I do watch Let's Plays while I'm at work. And 720p video does look pretty grainy and pretty blah. So I'm going to sacrifice the frame rate, since most of the games that I'll be playing only run at 30 frames anyway, because I am mainly a console gamer. I figured it's better to capture at 1080p 30 frames than it is at 720p 60 frames. So that's a thing. Next up is when Jess moves out at around the end of the month, which is about 3 or 4 weeks from now, I will no longer have a television. So I'm playing Demon's Souls now, so I have something with a TV, so I can record something from one of my consoles before she leaves. Once she is gone, I will be playing through The Legend of Zelda Ocarina of Time, which I'll be playing through on the Wii U gamepad, which is fine. You know, it's on the Virtual Console, that'll work fine, but I'll be sticking to either Wii U Virtual Console games featuring RPG Maker games, or at least RPG Maker demos, which are recorded on PC, since I'm making an RPG Maker game, and I think that's fair to kind of like try to showcase some of those as well, because a lot of them don't get a lot of love. So that's another point. And lastly, branding. I'm going to be very branding focused. I still have absolutely no interest in doing this for a living, but I do want a kind of like proper Game Over Gerkinman branding that's kind of like filters through everything. Keeps everything looking uniform and specific and very much like a thing. So those are the 4 big points I really wanted to put up. Like I said, I'll be playing largely action RPGs and those sort of things, because that is like my favorite genre. So the Souls games, Dragon's Dogma, Kingdoms of Amalur, things like that. I will be revisiting series that I started before I left this channel, so I'll also be playing through Dead Space 2, perhaps around Halloween. The Resident Evil 5 and 6, and finishing off game series that I kind of started a year or two ago when I first started doing Game Over Gerkinman, or when I was, a year into Game Over Gerkinman. But, and the other thing is editing. These will be heavily edited. So like I said with Demon's Souls, I'm going to be cutting out me returning to spots after I've died. I think everybody will appreciate that. And Pokemon I will be returning to. As another couple of Nuzlocke, so once again those will be heavily edited. There'll be a much more heavily edited focus on the series this time, on any games that I play. And that's about it really. Let's get into Demon's Souls. I am fat rolling because my equipment load is above 75%. Well, actually, I don't remember where exactly they show that. I think maybe it's in character stats here somewhere or something. Yes, equip burden is currently at 30.7 of 41, so yeah, this armor is way heavy. I'm going to take off, let's see, can I just leave my gloves on? Alright, I'm quick rolling again. So I never really explained the mechanics of Demon's Souls last time me and Paul played it. I'm not going to be trying to do design-focused stuff like I did in the Tatl Tael Gaming days. I'll bring design things up when I find them, or when I have something to say, but I'm also going to be talking about life, more interesting stuff. I wouldn't say that I'm going to be trying to be funny, but I'm going to be a little more loose with what I talk about, and I'll be responding in the comments. Yeah, if I get a following, I might end up doing Q&A videos and stuff, but I'm going to, so if you look at this green bar up here, for those who are unfamiliar with the Souls games, that is my stamina bar. Every action you take has an impact on the said stamina bar. So every time I roll, that takes a bit out. Every time I swing my weapon, that takes a bit out. And I think that's why a lot of people struggle when they first play these games. If you're used to playing action games, you can just kind of like spam attacks to get through things. And that's something that I had a really bad habit of using this attack on my first playthrough, which is the R2 attack, which is a heavy attack which does extra damage. And hi, how you doing? You're dead now. Nowadays, now that I've played a lot more of the Souls series, I understand the importance of managing your stamina bar and not being overzealous with your attacks. So I thought I'd just bring that up because I know last time I played through, I was pretty much playing through it blind, so that's a thing. Also, interesting note, the game that I'm making, Flatwoods, is almost a demake of Demon's Souls in a lot of ways. A lot of the level design elements that are in the game are actually modeled, not directly, but I would say it's kind of like, if you can imagine transplanting this big open environment into a sort of 2D layout similar to a Link to the Past, not a Link to the Past, to a Link's Awakening. because of the visual style and everything that I'm using. That'll give you a bit of an indication of Demon's Souls is full of wraparound level design, and that's something that I'm definitely wanting to incorporate a lot more into my games. I think it's my favorite thing about the Souls series is, except for Dark Souls 2, there's tons of shortcuts and levels tend to wrap around on themselves, and I don't know if I can translate that into 2D very well, because in 2D, with RPG Maker especially, each sort of like room is its own little segmented area. But here, in 3D, because it's one big environment, they can make things loop around on themselves. So whether or not I can actually pull that off is something that I don't quite know yet, but we'll see how we go. Looks like I've cleared everyone out here. Are there any items I missed? Doesn't look like it. Cool beans. Oh, and the other thing I'll be doing is I'll be trying to make these videos shorter. This one might be a little bit longer just because I wanted to bring everyone up to speed. But I'm going to be aiming for around 15 to 25 minutes per video. And aiming for 5 days a week instead of 2 or 3 or whatever it is I'm currently doing. So we burn through games quicker. Well, not burn through, but you're not watching the same game for like months on end, basically. So there will be more content, but it'll be shorter content, if that makes sense. Alright, now we've got some more challenging enemies. I tend not to use the lock-on too much. The lock-on works very much the same way as it does in The Legend of Zelda. I feel like if The Legend of Zelda was to keep going on Ocarina of Time's trajectory, they might have even ended up with something a lot like Demon's Souls. But, hey, Breath of the Wild. I keep wanting to call it Breath of Fire. Breath of the Wild looks like a pretty interesting game. I'm interested to see how it comes out, just because it is. Well, I can't say it's so different because it's basically just they've gone back to what they did for the original Legend of Zelda, but I'm still very interested to see how it plays out. This guy is a little bit tougher. You can usually tell when an enemy is a little bit more intimidating because they'll have something visually eye-grabbing about their designs. This guy's got big blue eyes or a glowing helmet, so you know he's a little bit tougher. Okay, now this one I believe is here to teach me how to parry. He won't let me do anything unless... There we go. Parrying is something I've never really gotten the hang of in this series. I tend to be, I wouldn't say I'm a defensive player. I usually have my weapon two-handed, which is something you can do with a quick press of the Y button. Two-handing gives you a boost to damage output, and it also allows you to use weapons that may be too heavy for your character with their current stats. But if I say attack this guy who's going to shoot at me with a bow with this, you can see how much more damage that does. Like I said, my first time playing as a priest. It's pretty... I like it. The mace is a nice starting weapon. Usually I play through these games with swords, and my ultimate goal with this playthrough is to get a particular sword, which is an homage to an anime I've been watching, that anime being Berserk. Berserk is a series that has influenced, I think, pretty much all of the games Miyazaki has made in the Soul series. More so Dark Souls than Demon Souls, but there's definitely still bits and pieces in here. It's weird replaying this so quickly after finishing it last. I feel like I'm right at home, even though I'm playing a completely different character build than I ever have before. Hey buddy, what's up? You are dead. I don't remember if you remember my first playthrough when I was playing through this blind, but it certainly didn't go as well as this is right now. Alright, so in here we have a boss. Now, this is why I wanted to replay the tutorial. Obviously the tutorial is very easy, but if I can beat this boss, which I've never done before, this boss is designed to kill you on your first or second playthrough even, and send you to the Nexus, which is where you get trapped. It's actually part of the story that this guy would kill you, but you can beat him, and if you do beat him, which might be a little bit time consuming because he has a lot of health, you get a really cool item which is supposed to make the earlier parts of the game a little easier. So I am hoping... Normally he would kill you right there with that attack, I'm going to try to stay behind him and chip away at him. Is he doing his little ground pound? Yes, he is. Ugh. Come on. I want to find out what you got for me. So, like I said, like I don't really use the lock-on much. When I first started playing the game, I did. I think after Dark Souls 2, which I found the lock-on was actually more of a hindrance than a help. Because there's a lot of group enemies in Dark Souls 2. I started playing more without the lock-on. It's also nice being able to control the camera yourself. You get a lot more control over what you can see, and it's not bad damage. Stage 6. It's not the best. It's not the worst. I'm just really surprised I'm doing really well, because even last time, even though I finished Dark Souls 2 twice, he pretty much killed me on the first hit. I don't think it takes one hit. I think it's 2 hits for him to completely wreck you, but that attack's pretty tough because it swings around really far behind him. Whew, alright. Sorry if I'm a little quiet, it's just very concentration heavy. Oh no, that's definitely not where I want to be. Oh shit, that was close. Yeah, if you stick pretty close to him, he seems to, I guess because of the arc of his swing, he can't... Yeah, he can't really hit you. Interesting. That happens quite a lot in the Souls series, where you find there are actually big enemies that look hella scary, and you're safer if you stick close to them. Also, swinging into attacks as opposed to away from them, or I mean rolling into attacks as opposed to away from them, is often a very good strategy, which I quite like. Ooh. I like the fact that if you watch his animation, he actually loses balance after he does the really big swing. Just, I never noticed before. I guess because he usually killed me too quickly, but... Oh, there we go. So yeah, that, Ah, god damn it. Oh well, I tried. Tried, failed, that's okay. Good fight, Vanguard. That's all it takes, one stuff up with that guy and you're done.
Soul of the lost withdrawn from its vessel. Let strength be granted so the world might be mended. Soul of the lost withdrawn from its vessel. Let strength be granted so the world might be mended. So the world might be mended. This is the Nexus. It holds together the northern land of Boletaria. Thou canst not exit the Nexus, but each of the 5 archstones will connect it to another.
So there you go, you have died, the Nexus has trapped your soul, you cannot escape the Nexus. So this is our hub for the game. However, by capturing demon souls, you can reclaim your physical body. So I'll get into that when we get into after the first boss, the way that the whole body and non-body form works. As you can see now that I am dead and trapped in the Nexus, I've lost half my health, and I'm in a sort of spirit form. And I'm going to leave this here. In the next episode, we are going to talk to the Maiden in Black, and some other lovely NPCs here. And we're going to do the first part of Boletaria Palace, which is the first area. So I hope you join me for that. And thank you again for joining me, and I'll catch you next time. Peace out and have a good one.